Hi, with our NCRT series, that is NCRT Geography. So we have completed till today the sixth NCRT and sixth standard NCRT, and we are here with the seventh standards NCRT chapter number 3. So this chapter is which you are seeing on your screen is very important from exams perspective. So let us start without wasting much time about our changing Earth. Okay. So you can see on your screen that we will be discussing about the changing Earth. The most important aspect here will be the Earth movements. Okay. So Earth movements. So basically, we are going to study about the two types of Earth movements. That is endogenic and exogenic. Okay. You can see on your screen. Let us start with the Earth movements. Okay. Earth movements. So there are basic two types of Earth movement: endogenic and exogenic. So the common word here is genic. Genic means origin. Remember that. What is the meaning of genic? Genic means origin. So what is endo? Endo means inside. Okay. And what is exo? It is outside. So now you can see on the basis of the site, that is endogenic or exogenic, we have two types of moments: endogenic moments and exogenic moments. So basically, endogenic processes or endogenic forces or endogenic moments can also be classified into further two types. One is sudden forces and diastrophic forces. Here this word diastrophic is important. Uh, any type of force which creates faults or folds on the earth crust or the rock structure, so that can be called as a diastrophic moment. Okay, diastrophic forces. So it creates the folds and faults on the earth crust. Remember that. So they are further classified as the mountain building forces. Okay. So now endogenic forces which happens inside the earth crust. So they can be like, you have the earthquake. So for the sudden movements or sudden forces, you can be further classified as the earthquake. Example, earthquake. Then you have volcano, and then you have landslides. So these three types or three examples are of the sudden earth movement or sudden forces which happens inside the earth. So they are called as endogenic forces. So now you understood what is endogenic forces. Something which happens inside the earth, okay, are called as endogenic. Earthquake is inside the earth. Yes, volcano, it erupts from inside the earth, and you have landslides. The forces are generated inside the earth or not? Yes. So definitely these three types are of endogenic type. Now you have exogenic type. Okay, exogenic. So we can see that in exogenic you have erosional and depositional. Depositional forces. One is erosional, another is depositional. So you have example as a river, then you have wind, then you have sea waves, and you have glaciers. Yes. So we are going to study about this whole. This is a summary. So basically you need to pay kind attention. आपको यहाँ पर अच्छे से ध्यान देना है अर्थ मूवमेंट्स पे. So you can see, I'm repeating it again. You have two basic types of earth movements. One is endogenic forces and another is exogenic forces. Okay. And endogenic forces can further be classified as sudden forces and diastrophic forces. And I have told you what is the meaning of diastrophic forces. The forces which create faults and folds on the earth crust are called as diastrophic moment or diastrophic forces. So the sudden forces are further classified or can be given as example, like you have earthquake, you have volcano, you have landslides. Yes. So these are three basic types of sudden forces. Now you have diastrophic forces, which can be called as the mountain building forces. Yes, mountain building forces. And exogenic forces are of two types: erosional and depositional. So river, for example, we will study about this running water. So the running water, the landforms created due to running water, we will be studying. We will be studying about the landforms created due to wind, due to sea waves, and due to glaciers. Okay, and what is the meaning of glacier? Moving ice can be called as a glacier. Okay, so we'll continue with the, with the further movements in the earth. So now you can see in the box, these boxes of NCERT are very important. You can see, okay, lithospheric plates. Earth Earth crust consists of several large and small plates which are rigid, irregular, and which carry continents and also the oceanic floor. You have different plates. Okay, Earth crust is made up of different plates. And for example, you have Pacific plate, Indian plate, you have Nazca plate, you have Atlantic plate. So Earth consists of different plates. So when we will study in coming lectures about the plate tectonics or continental drift theory, so there we will have reference of this lithospheric plates. Okay, so we'll be studying about the plates there, minor plates and major plates. So just remember that we will be studying the plates in the upcoming lectures. So stay tuned. Now, starting with our endogenic forces. Endogenic forces sometimes produce sudden movements. Okay, so we will be studying them in a sudden movements, and at the other times produce slow movements also. Sudden movements like earthquake and volcanoes causes mass destruction over the surface of earth. You have seen that a lot of destruction has happened recently in, let us say, Turkey. So, or Turkey, the name of the country has been changed to Turkey. Earlier it was called Turkey or Turkey. So now it is Turkey. So you can see that more than lakhs of people have been killed due to the uh, devastation caused by the earthquake. And now the next thing we can be looking at is volcano. A volcano is a vent opening in the earth crust through which the molten material erupts suddenly. You can see uh, the earth crust. Earth, you have crust, mantle, and core. So the molten magma which is coming out or erupting from the earth crust can be called as a volcano. So it is also a type of endogenic forces. I have given you example. You can see on your screen the difference between endogenic and exogenic. So as I have told you, endo means something which is inside, and exo, it means something outside, and genic means the origin. So the forces which we originates inside the earth are called as endogenic forces. We have seen example as earthquake, we have seen example of volcano, right? So these are endogenic forces. And what is exogenic? Something which appears outside the earth crust. Okay, so that, for example, you have work due to wind, due to river. So these are examples of exogenic movements or exogenic forces. So moving ahead, so now we will discuss about the earthquake. Okay, actually earthquake is nothing but a shaking and trembling of the earth. Okay, earthquake, these are actually vibrations caused by the plate tectonics. Okay, So in when we will study about the class 11th NCRT, so a lot of questions have been asked in an exam about the earthquake also. In recent years, 3 questions were asked on earthquakes. So when the lithospheric plates move, the surface of the earth vibrates. These vibrations can travel all around the earth. We will study about the body waves and surface waves, and further classified as S waves and P waves, and the destruction caused due to the surface waves because of the nature of their propagation. So we will be studying that in class 11th NCERT. So these vibrations are actually called as earthquakes. Okay. Now, the question which was asked by NDA was, what is the difference between the focus and epicenter? Remember that the place in the earth crust where the movement starts actually, or the crack happens, is a focus. Okay, it is inside the earth. Remember that. And that is also called as hypocenter or the focus. So focus is something which is inside the earth, and and the place on the surface exactly above the focus is called as EP. EP means above the focus is called as epicenter. So remember, these two words are different, and you must pay kind attention, because the statement can lead you to confusion. So the place where the crust or the crust can crack, or where the moment starts, is actually the focus, and the place which is exactly about the focus is called as epicenter. Remember that. And the vibrations travels through the epicenter. Okay. So you can see on your screen the example of the focus and epicenter. This is the focus, which is inside the earth, and the place exactly above the focus will be called as epicenter. So this is the epicenter. Okay. So these are called as plate tectonics. We will be studying that. Now, these sections are important from exams perspective. S waves and P waves. P waves are actually primary waves, and S waves are secondary waves. So P waves are called longitudinal waves. You have studied the sound chapter sound. So sounds waves are actually longitudinal waves. Okay. Sound waves are actually longitudinal waves. So P waves are like that only. S waves are transverse waves. Okay. And L waves, which are called love waves or are relay waves, are actually surface waves. And the most of the destruction in the earthquakes are caused by the surface waves, because of the nature of the propagation of the waves. And this was the question which was asked by the NDA. So we will move ahead. So the earthquake is measured with the machine which is called as seismograph. Seismic, something which is related to the earthquake waves. Okay. And the machine which measures it is called as seismograph. Richter scale and all. So we'll be studying about the difference between Mercalli scale and the Richter scale. So we'll be studying that. Now, the next important exogenic force is the work of river. So I will draw one diagram so that you will understand how rivers actually create different kinds of landforms. Okay. For example, if I may create this mountain, different ranges or high areas or hilly areas, from there you will see different streams or tributaries. So you can see this is the one area or upper area or the upper course. Okay. So river will be divided into 3 types. Now, in the middle path, river will start doing meandering. It's like a wave, or like snake moves. So it will have this kind of meandering. And afterwards, when it will meet the ocean, you will see distributaries or the formation of deltas. Okay. So this is the middle course, and this is the lower course of the river. So we will see about different landforms created by river. Okay, different landforms formed by river on the upper and lower stages or courses. So here you will see the waterfalls. Okay, then you will see rapids, you will see cataract, you will see George, you will see cannons, you will see plunge pools. Okay, so these all things you will get on the upper stage of the river. And on the second or middle course, you will get meanders, you will get oxbow lakes. Okay, so these two landforms you will get here. And on the lower course, you will get delta distributaries. Yes, so you need to remember this. NDA couple of times ask questions on this. They will give you this type of question in the question match the pair. Okay, they will give three options, 3 points like upper course, middle course, and lower course, and then they will give meanders, deltas, and let us say plunge pool. So you will have to match that. That type of question can be asked. They have asked this question in various exams of UPSC like CAPF and CDS. So it can be expected that they will ask uh, these type of questions in further in upcoming exams. Okay, so this was about the work of river, work of a river. You can see on your screen, we will read out the text from the book. The running water in the river erodes the landscape. We'll study about the erosion and the deposition. Erosion, it happens due to the work of water, because it has kinetic energy in. So when it will flow through the surface of the land, so it will create some features or some landforms. Okay, when the river tumbles at the steep angle, the very hard rock, or down the steep valley, it forms waterfalls. When you have alternate layers of hard rock and soft rock, remember that this is a hard rock and this is a soft rock, and then you pair by hard and soft. So a soft rock will be eroded easily compared to the hard rock, and it will lead to the formation of waterfalls. So you have like Jog waterfall in India, which is famous, and then you have Angel waterfall. So the meandering, which is happening at the second stage or the middle stage or the middle course of a river. Okay, due to continuous erosion and deposition along the sides of the meander, the ends of the meander loop come closer. Formation of Oxbow Lake, you can see on your screen. This particular thing is actually a Oxbow Lake. It has been created due to the additional depositions of sediments. Remember that. And because the kinetic energy of the water gets reduced in the middle stages, so it slows down the speed of the water, and sediment starts deposition. It starts to deposit the sediments, and it creates the obstacle for water to flow. And this type of lakes are formed, which are called as oxbow lakes. You have 4 or 5 types of lakes. Okay, you have playa lakes, you have crater lakes, you have oxbow lakes. So remember that when you study about the lakes, you have 4 to 5 types of lakes. And in the this formation of the work of the river, you can see the oxbow lake. Okay, and in the middle course of the river, you will get the flood plains. Okay, like for example, the flood plains are created due to Ganga and Yamuna. It flows from Himalaya, and through the UP and Bihar, it goes further in the Bangladesh. So it creates the flood plains, yes, which are very fertile in nature because the alluvial soil. So UPC has asked question last year about the type of soil. So they had asked about which type of soil gives rise to the which is favorable conditions to the cotton. So the answer was what? Regur. So they have asked questions on soils also. So keep a track on the different type of questions which have been asked. So you will get a trend. So what to study and what to avoid. Okay. So on the next stage, you have the lower course. So on the lower course, you have the formation of delta. You can see on the screen the formation of delta. So this is the main river, and these are the distributaries. It has given rise to a bird foot like delta. Bird foot like delta. Okay, and the energy, the speed of the river here is very minimal. So that's the reason it starts deposition, and almost zero speed, and it starts just depositing everything it has borrowed from the highland Himalayas and from the plains of the plain region or flood plains, and it will deposit here. Now the second thing, this was the first thing. Now we will study about the second type is the, here you have second type as the sea waves. Okay, so we'll study about the sea waves. Okay, so now remember this, for example, and this is the sea area, this is land area. Okay, and this is the sea, and you have water here. Okay, I'm just drawing the diagram, trying to draw it. Now you have a cave. Earlier it was a crack, let us say, and it led to the formation of cave. What will come inside also. Okay, now you will see this is the cave. Okay, and further you will have arc. Let us say this is the arc. Okay, okay, let it be. So this is the arc. Okay, this was the cave. Now you will understand. And then you have the stack. Okay, this is the arc, this is the stack, and you will have stump also. Okay, so you can see that this type of structures are formed here. Now you can see on your screen these types of structures. Okay, here, this for example, you need to understand the work of water has led to the formation of stack, the sea arc, and the sea cave. Okay, we'll start studying. We'll read it out first. The erosion and the deposition of the sea waves gives rise to the coastal landforms. Okay, what is a landform? Landform is actually anything which has created. It is a natural feature and not a man-made. For example, a canal canal cannot be called as a landform, okay, but river can be called as a landform, because river is created naturally and is not created due to man-made activities. Man-made activities do not give rise to the landforms, okay. Landforms are always natural in nature. So sea waves continuously strike at the rocks and it creates the cracks, and the cracks are further developed into caves. So then, due to further actions of the water on the sea caves, it gives rise to the sea arcs. And then after some time, due to erosional activity, it breaks the roof of the arc and gives rise to the stacks. Okay, these things, sea caves, then sea arcs and stacks are important. They will ask arc sea caves and stacks are the landforms of which of the following, and they will give example of glaciers. They will talk about the rivers, and they talk about the wind and other things, and they will also give one option as the sea caves or sea waves. So the option way will be sea waves. Now, work of ice. Okay, actually glaciers are the rivers of ice, remember that. Glaciers are nothing but rivers of ice. You have rivers in the oceans also, they are called currents. You have normal rivers on the surface, they are called rivers. And similarly, you have rivers of ice which are called as glaciers. So three things are there: river, glaciers, and oceanic currents. So river glaciers are the rivers of ice which are called glaciers, which to erode the landscape by bulldozing the soil and stones with to expose the rock below it. Okay, glaciers actually carve out the deep hollows there. I will draw a diagram for you. Now you can see, for example, this actual example or actual diagram here on your screen. This, okay, look, you have one, okay. So now you can see that on your screen you have this type of structure. So I'm highlighting it. Look, this is actually arete. This is actually a arete. This is wall. This is wall. Okay, and this is also a third wall. So here three walls are there. So these are called as arete. Remember the word arete. Okay, these are called as aretes. Okay, arete. Look at the spelling. And something which is between two arete is called as cirque. So the cirque is a gap between two arete. So it is called as cirque, or sometimes in some books they have referred it as a kori. Okay, so you have got two words, cirque and arete. Now remember, when more than two aretes come together, it forms horn. Okay, one of the famous horn in the world is Matterhorn in Switzerland. Okay, Matterhorn. Or in Mount Everest also you have different types of horns. Now you've got three words: arete, cirque, and horn. Okay. Now you can see this U-shaped structure, which is called as U-shaped valley. It is called as a this structure which is U in shape. It's called as U-shaped valley. U-shaped valleys. U-shaped valleys. Now you have got four words: arete, cirque, U-shaped valleys, and horn. Okay. Remember now, if the broken pieces of the rock which will be dragged along the glacier are called as the moraine. Okay. Now we have got five words: arete, which are the walls; something which is between two aretes are called cirque; when we have more than two aretes, it is called as horn; when you have a valley which is of U shape, which carries the whole glacier or the river of ice, which is called the U shape valleys. And when the broken pieces of rocks are carried with the U shape valleys, with the ice in the U shape valleys, they are called as moraines. So moraines are actually nothing but the broken pieces of the rocks. Okay, they are like in river you have sediments, right? So when you see during the rainy season, when you look at the uh, color of the water in the river, you will see that it is of orange or yellowish types. That is due to uh, uh, the color of the soil of that area, or the so that change in color, which is caused by the contention of the solid material or the dust particles in the river. Similarly, when broken pieces of the rocks are dragged with the water, dragged with the ice or the glaciers, they are called as moraines. Okay, so 5 words we have studied, or 5 landforms to be frank. One is Ariche, Cirque, Horn, Moraine, and U-shaped valleys. Now remember, let us say in the summer season when the ice will melt, in the Cirque region, you will get Cirque lakes. Here, instead of ice, you will get water. So they are called as Cirque lake or Tarn lake. This is the sixth word. Sixth word we are studying. Cirque lake, or it is simply called as a Tarn lake. In when we studied about this formation of river, no, so we studied their Oxbow lake, and I have told you that we will have couple of more lakes. So the second type of the lake we have studied today is the Tarn lake or the Cirque lake. Okay, this probably will be seen during the summer region and not in the winter region, because in winter region you will have a lot of snow there. So for the formation of lake you need water, and water can only be there in the summer region due to the melting of the soil or the melting of the glaciers. Okay, so we have studied that much. There are further words also, like for example isker is there, you have basket of egg topography, you have drumlins, but we will be studying that in the 11th standard NCRT. Now, as of now, it is good for you to understand about the the work of ice. Okay. Now, the third thing we will be studying is the work of wind. We have studied the work of river. We have studied the work of sea waves. We have studied the work of glacier, and the fourth thing is work of wind. Work of wind. Okay, work of wind actually is more prevalent in the desert area. Reason being, in desert area, the speed of the wind is also greater, and also there are no obstacles for wind. Okay, in other areas you have trees, you have highland areas, you have mountains, you have some hilly areas also, in buildings also. So that due to that, the speed of the wind get reduced, and it will not give rise to many landforms, unlike in desert or arid areas. So in arid areas you don't have any obstacle as such. So most of the landforms which are caused due to the wind are in the arid areas. Remember that. So we'll be studying that in the next few minutes. So have you ever visited a desert? I remember that the most of the deserts are on the western sides of the continents. Like for example, in India we have Thar Desert, which is also on the western side. We have Sahara Desert in Africa, which is also on the western margins. You have Kalahari, you have Patagonian, you have Atacama deserts. You have a lot of deserts. You have Montana deserts. These all deserts are on the western sides of the continents. A reason being, when you have cold currents flowing on the western margins or the western coast or the seashores, so uh, that obstacle, it creates obstacle in the formation of clouds. Okay? It reduces the condensation. Okay, because for condensation you need warm water, you need evaporation, right? You need the temperature, and due to the cold currents you cannot see the formation of clouds, and if you don't have clouds you will not get rains. It is as simple as that. So remember that most of the deserts which are on the western side, reason being you have cold current flowing from the western margins. So now we have studied about these deserts. Okay, in India you have famous desert Thar deserts. So an active agent of erosion and deposition in the desert is wind. In desert areas, you can see the rocks in the shape of mushroom. Now I will draw a diagram. You can see this. Look at the screen and pay kind attention. Let us say earlier this was the structure of the rock. Okay, okay. This was the earlier structure. Okay. Now I have drawn a diagram so that you can understand. Remember that this was the actual diagram before any erosion happened to it. Now a continuous wind will flow and attack. Now what will happen? The wind will start blasting at this surface. I think at least 182 centimeter. It will start blasting at the surface of the rock from below. Now what will happen? After few months or few years, sorry, after few years, what will happen? This rock will become like this. The structure of the rock will be like this. And after few years, you will see it as a complete mushroom. So it will be like this. Okay. Why erosion happened at this area? Because it contained the sand particles and it blasted at the bottom. Okay, and you will get this type of structure. You will get this type of structure. So this type of structure is actually the mushroom rock. Okay, look at the diagram. It looks like a mushroom. So this type of a rock is called as mushroom rock, and you can mostly see this structure. I will write it down. Mushroom rock. This type of structure you will see on the desert areas. Is it clear? Okay, let us move ahead. So winds erode the lower section of the rocks more than the upper part, as I was shown in the diagram also. When the wind blows, it lifts and transfers sand from one place to another. When it stops blowing, when the kinetic energy decreases, okay, the sand falls due to gravitational forces, right? And get deposited in the low hill like structures. These are called as sand dunes. On your screen, you can see these are the sand dunes. Most of the songs which are filmed in Bollywood or Hollywood movies, they have this type of sand dunes in their songs. You can see this. These are the sand dunes. Okay, they have dome-like structure like this. You can see if you Google the images related to sand dunes, you can get this. And remember that when the sand dunes are carried away from the limits of the deserts and they are deposited outside the deserts, they are called oases. So it breaks the limit. They're important. This word is important. Oases. Okay. And the classical case of this is the China, where a lot of the deposits of the sand have been seen after the limit of the deserts. Okay. Now let us start answering following questions. If you could see, there are 5 questions. The first being, which is not an erosional feature of the sea waves? Now let us say sea caves is erosional. Yes, it happened due to the crack, and when the water got inside and it developed into the further cracks, and then you got the sea cave. So it is an erosional feature. You have cliff also as the erosional feature. But in case of beach, it is actually a deposition. You might have gone to the seashores of the oceans or the seas. You can see that smaller or the fine particles of the sand are deposited on the shore of the sea, and it creates the beaches, right? So beaches is it is not a erosional feature, but rather it is a depositional feature. So the answer will be B, because they have asked not. So the beach is not an erosional feature. Is it clear? Okay, further, the word important here is depositional feature of the glacier. As I've seen, glacier is the river or the ice river or the flowing river of the ice. It is a river of ice. So depositional feature of glacier is what? What is the depositional feature? Floodplains, beaches, moraines. Moraines, as I have told you, are the broken pieces of the rocks which are carried away with the glacier. Okay, and the third question is which is caused by sudden movements of the earth. We have seen the endogenic forces and exogenic forces. So sudden movements, so the volcano and earthquake are the sudden movements of the earth. Okay, folding takes the time, it takes the millions of times. For example, Himalaya, it takes millions of times to create. Even Himalaya further is also a young mountain. So the floodplains also take time, right? And floodplains, for example, is not a endogenic moments. Further, it is the exogenic forces caused due to the work of a river. Now you have mushroom rocks. Here we have seen the mushroom rock. You can see on your screen. So I have told you that it happens in the desert areas or the arid areas, because the you don't have a lot of obstacles for the wind there, and it can be the sand particles can be lifted up and blasted at the lower surface of the rocks, and it can create the mushroom like structure of a rock, which is called as mushroom rock. So definitely the answer will be deserts. In river valleys, you will get gorges and canyons, right? And you will not get mushroom like structure. In glaciers, also you will get moraines and drumlins and basket of egg topography. You will not get mushroom rocks there. Okay, so the fifth question is that oxbow lakes are found in oxbow lake like structures are found in the river valleys, right? Due to the deposition of the sediments when the kinetic energy of the water or the speed of the water is decreased in the middle course of the river. So you get the meandering of the river there, and so that there you will get river, you will get oxbow lakes. And in glaciers you will not get the oxbow lake, right? In desert also you will not get. In desert areas you also you will be wondered to see that in desert areas also you have lakes, but that lakes are called playa lakes, okay, and not the oxbow lakes. So this was it for today. Tomorrow also we will continue with the our series of NCERT, which will we cover be till next 2 months. So hopefully you might have enjoyed the session. Thank you. Bye.